Thank you. So first of all, welcome you all to today's Webster University's online EdD info session. It's Saturday morning, April 20th, and we will have this from 9 to 10 a.m. Central Time. We're very happy to have Natasha McAllister, our graduate admissions counselor, and also Dr. Yupa Saisanen, our coordinator of recruitment and communication. And also myself, I'm Dr. Lee-Johnson. I'm the director of the EdD program at Webster University. So first of all, let's look at the agenda. You see, I think for most important information for all the applicants and prospective students is to know what the program is all about, especially the ethos and also the vision and mission. I'm also going to present to you a new option that we created last year. It's called a doctoral digital portfolios. And then we'll talk about career prospects and also tuition information. So first of all, let's talk about the ethos of the EdD program. As you know, whoever that is the leader of the program also would determine a lot of the parameters about curriculum decisions, research, and also service, right? So for me, I'm Dr. Lee-Johnson. I'm a first-generation immigrant in the United States. My passion is to serve minoritized populations via research, teaching, advising, and service. As such, my mission is to become a voice and advocate for transforming the status quo for minoritized populations. And that it's the director of the EdD. But now let's look at the program itself. If I have to describe our EdD program, I would say that it is vibrant, student-centered, rigorous, with a unique perspective of global citizenship. As you all know, Webster University has a unique focus on global citizenship and academic excellence. So as a world-class innovative institution, it has global campuses in North America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. So the program vision is to transform the status quo of inequities in the educational systems of the world. So as you see, some of the content of the courses that we design would have a unique focus on global perspectives. We constantly have debates and questions and critiques of all of the educational policies and most of the social movements that happen in different cultures of the world. And the mission of the entire program is to prepare scholar practitioners who have the passion and competence to make a difference in the world through scholarship and service. So some of the recent publications, as you see on screen, it's very important to know what the program has been doing in the recent years. So for example, you see on the left-hand side, I'm one of the co-editors of a book that is about affirming the rights of emergent bilingual and multilingual learners. And this is published by Routledge. We also published a journal article in the Carnegie Projects on Education Doctorates journal called Impacting Education. It's called Reflexivity for Restoring the Ontological and Epistemological Truths in Qualitative Research. As you see the authors list, so we have our recent graduate, Carrie Fair. She's now faculty member at WashU St. Louis. We have Catherine O'Connor, recent graduate. Tamara Rodney, she's a doctoral candidate. Jennifer Ono just recently graduated. Trisette Dixon just recently graduated. So our program constantly advocates for faculty members and doctoral students to co-publish and co-present at conferences as well. So on the next screen, you can see some of the conference presentations that we have done together. So for example, we have just been to the American Educational Research Association annual convention, which is in Philadelphia. And in this year's convention, we presented several different papers. The first one, as you see on the left-hand side, there's a picture of me and our doctoral students and graduates from the program. The presentation was an interactive workshop. It's peer-reviewed, 90-minute, and it's about interweaving intersectional biographical vignettes into qualitative research and reflexivity tools. So it was a spin-off from our journal article that we co-authored. And then we want to push the boundary of creating, how can we create intersectional biographical vignettes that are relevant to a lot of the BIPOC scholars and researchers in the field. And so the second presentation, as you see here, it's a 90-minute peer review symposium. So I presented with the book editors together about confronting racial linguistic injustices recycled in early childhood spaces. And then I was also invited to speak at one of the special interest group, and that is the art of mentoring. So I talked about how to mentor students and how our doctoral program has created a 3-tier mentorship program to support doctoral students in their journey. More will be discussed about the mentorship program later. But on the right-hand side, you see here there's a CPAD. CPAD, it's a very important professional consortium. It has over 135 members, which are institutions that offer the EdD degree nationwide and overseas. So we have joined Carnegie Project on Education Doctorate, CPAD, as an institutional member, and we are regularly presenting at the annual convention. So as you see, this past year in 2023, we have 3 articles, 3 papers that we co-presented. The first one, it's me and several doctoral students. Second one, I also wrote another proposal with doctoral students. So all of these presentations are evidence of how our program constantly advocates for students to co-present and co-publish with the faculty members. So as you see, our flagship emphasis is called transformative learning in the global community. So first of all, question in your mind is, what is a transformative learning and who is a transformative educator? If you look up some of our publicity materials, you will see Dr. Trisette Dixon talking a lot about, in her mind, what is a transformative educator? So in my mind, I think a transformative learning is to create radical opportunities for minoritized populations to transform the status quo so that they can have a seat at the table and to have an equitable educational opportunity. Who is a transformative educator? Is a person with agency to participate and take control of the situations in various educational settings and to create learning opportunities for diverse group of learners in the setting. So if you look at our program that is online EdD with an emphasis in transformative learning in the global community, it is for, I repeat, for scholar practitioners who aspire to become higher educational faculty, leaders in schools, government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and various educational settings. It's designed to be a 3-year program, and it has a total of 40 credits. Of course, if students choose the dissertation route, it depends on the actual completion of the dissertation and scheduling with the dissertation committee. So if you look at the next slide, you can see the year 1, year 2, year 3, like each year in each term. So Webster University School of Education will have 8 weeks in one term, and we have a fall 1 term, fall 2, spring 1, spring 2, and summer. So in each term, the doctoral students would take 1 course accordingly, and that is an online asynchronous course until the end of 2nd year. And then in year 3, they would either take dissertation hours or get on the coursework design base for the portfolio option. So later on, I will talk more about what is the doctoral digital portfolio option that we created for our doctoral students. So here is, and then we have a graduate catalog that will publish the full program requirements. So as you see on screen, in year 1, these are the content courses in the transformative emphasis. Year 2, you will see a whole lineup of research methods courses that would support students knowing how to write a dissertation or portfolio, support them to learn more about hands-on technology, like how to use SPSS or another software such as JAPS, or we have another one that we were exploring called Jamovi, how to use these technological tools to do quantitative data analysis. And for qualitative research, we also educate students to use NVivo and other valuable resources. for doing the qualitative analysis, and students are not confined to just use those tools, but at least we introduce one major research tool, and students can have the option to choose between these tools to use for data analysis. And then we will also have a comprehensive exam in the second year summer. And then in year 3, then students can choose between either the dissertation route or the DDP, which is the portfolio route. So I will talk more about the DDP later in the slides. So after going through some of the necessary components of the program, I think the most important thing is for me to discuss the distinctive features of the EdD program. As you see, the mission and vision of the program would entail an equity-centered transformative leadership. That is, I would say, the core of our EdD program. So for students who join the program, you're expected to transform the status quo as educational leaders in different settings and different opportunities that you can offer to the learners. And then we have global citizenship and student-centeredness. So student-centeredness means that we always have a caring approach towards our doctoral advisees and students in the program, that students can always reach out to me and to other faculty member. And we always offer a lot of one-on-one formal and informal meetings to support our students in the learning journey. Number 3 distinctive features is that we have done substantial market research in the EdD field together with looking at the CPAT, the Carnegie Project EdD members. And we have noticed that in the field, there is a trend that is moving away from dissertation and to offer people more digitalized representation of their final year project. And so we have an option that we created in year 3 for all the doctoral students. So once you join the program, you can choose between a writing intensive dissertation or a doctoral digital portfolio. So I'll talk more about the options later. And then next distinctive feature, we have a peer mentorship program that I developed that we would assign you with a peer mentor who is either at dissertation phase or someone who recently graduated from the program. So you can ask questions such as, what is the term epistemology? How do you define ontology? And what is intersectionality? You can ask some of the definition of the key terms and how to apply them in the field. And you can also get career mentorship, like what kind of career would be suitable for me? How can I prepare myself and start to look for those career, and so that I can align my research topics with the career prospect. So those are the things that we have done. We have also always advocated for faculty and student relationship building. So in year 1 in summer, you would take a doctoral apprenticeship course. In this course, you would work one-on-one with a faculty mentor, and you can choose among different options. For example, you can co-write a paper, you can co-draft a conference presentation, you can create a course, or you can do a surface learning project with your faculty mentor. So that it's a very important mentorship system that we also built in the program. We have a very transparent web-based handbook that is on Google. We have a Google website, and we publish the handbook right there. So anytime, anywhere, if you have a cell phone or a laptop, you can go to the link and you can read the handbook, so that it's always transparent and it's easily accessible. And then when funding allows, which is in the past, we have applied for a lot of grants and endowment funding to cover some of these critical learning tools like qualitative analysis software, research incentives for participants in your final year project. And then we also offer scholarship once you get through half of the program, which is about 1.5 years. You can apply for a scholarship. So all of these needs further approvals. However, we do try our best to offer funding to support our students' learning. So I think the most critical thing would be for you to take a look, after seeing the distinctive features, to take a look at our recently defended dissertation topics. because I think this list would tell you more about what are the doctoral students doing in our program, what are the viable research topics, and would these topics be similar or relevant to what you would like to do as a doctoral student. For example, we have the first one, radical transformation of the power language dynamic in the K-6 classroom. It's a mixed method study, and this doctoral student just recently graduated, and she's really concerned about language loss, like how students with different home languages that are lost in the homeschool disconnect. And so she wrote a dissertation for a mixed method study, which is recently defended. We have the second dissertation topic that is called Leading and Learning, an investigation of principals' experiences during the COVID-19 pandemic. And then the next one is a fork in the road to graduation, understanding the African-American undergraduates' decision on whether to participate in academic internships. And then we have stories most difficult to tell are the most vital to share, a phenomenographic investigation of teacher burnout theories and narratives. And then last but not least, we have leading through trauma and an exploration of social emotional leadership practices that optimize scholastic excellence in urban elementary schools. So these titles look very long, but if you go to our Google site at the top that says dissertations are downloadable, you can go visit that link and then try to download these dissertations that are recently defended, and take a look at the content and see if that is relevant to what you intend to do. So next is, as you see, I have repeated several times that we have offered an innovative option that is called doctoral digital portfolios. So this is during year 3 for students who do not want to do the dissertation because it's a writing intensive project that a lot of the times might not have as much readership because it is published by ProQuest. And so we have created this portfolio route. So you can have digital representations in your final year project. So give you an example. For example, students can create a series of YouTube interviews with your research participants and publish that on YouTube or other sites. And you can create a series of podcasts that go along with your research projects and then discuss the findings and implications. You can also think of other ways to use the social media to reach out to a wider readership. So most important thing is graduates then can represent their digital portfolios easily with a click of a button at job interviews. I think that will showcase really well because our students have the theory and research and application in the field, and they also have the technological know-how, so they know how to use digitalized formats to represent and reach out to wider audience. So as such, we feel the portfolio route will also democratize the readership and have a bigger impact in the field. So the major difference between the portfolio and the dissertation is that in year 3, dissertation students, though registered in dissertation credit hours, mainly have to schedule their one-on-one meetings with the dissertation committee. Whereas if you join the portfolio route, you would be in a coursework-based final year project management. So the final year will be split into semester long. So first semester in the fall and then second semester in the spring. And then so during the semester long coursework, you'll register with a professor and then you would learn along with the professor. So you would have someone who check in with your progress of your research project. For example, did you submit your IRB proposal on time? Did you get to start your research interviews and collect data according to your research plan? So you would have a more hand-on hand-holding experience with the portfolio than compared to scheduling your own meetings with dissertation committees. So that's the digital portfolio route. And then next slide, I would like to go through why, this EdD program is highly applicable in different domains of work that is aligned with education. So first of all, as you see, the EdD was designed for full-time working professionals. So students can take courses online asynchronously with sometimes there are Zoom meetings to support you to meet with a peer or meet with professor, but most of the times you're doing online asynchronous work so that it can basically fit in with your busy working lifestyle. And based on our past experience, we have successfully created a career-focused EdD so that our students, when they graduate, have opportunities to go work in higher education as faculty, to work as administrative leaders in higher education, to become K-12 educators and leaders, and to become nonprofit organization leaders. So since we are here on this screen, I would like to stop sharing and go to our main website. So I hope that all of you by now have seen our main website, Advance Your Career with a Program Designed for Working Professionals Worldwide. And I would like to go to the bottom here, Career Advancements. So in the past year, we have seen a lot of our graduates, once they graduated from the doctorate, they pursue other career that has a promotion aspect to it. So for example, you can see Dr. Carrie Fair, once she graduated, she was employed by WashU St. Louis as a full-time faculty member. So category 1 is higher ed faculty. Dr. John Link, he used to be Director of Career Services, and then once he graduated, he got a big promotion as Associate Dean in another college. So that is representing category 2, higher education administrative leaders. Dr. Siobhan Curry, she used to be assistant principal and she got promotion to interim principal right after she graduated from the doctorate. Dr. Trisette Dixon, she used to be director of internship experiences, and then when she graduated, she found another job as senior director as a nonprofit organization. So these exciting examples I want to share with you because I think it shows what kind of career that our students get into when they once they graduate from the program. So after getting through the career prospects and the advancements that our recent graduates have pursued, I would like to walk you through quickly on the tuition. So our tuition is $930 per credit, and the program is designed to be 40 credits. And so you can see it's about $37,200 US to complete the 3-year program. And I did look up a lot of the other universities that offer an online EdD and the tuition references here. The range is between 80,000 to 120,000, and you can do your own online market research easily with the comparison to know that our tuition is affordable, and you can also seek other ways to fund your studies. For example, there are multiple K-12 educators that got through our program. They can use their school district's funding to take some courses. And then also once they graduated, they can get a pay bump according to the district's policy. And so I would like to share Dr. Siobhan Curry's student testimonials. So Dr. Siobhan Curry is currently an interim principal, and this is her testimonial that she's willing to share with us. She said, "My experience in the EdD program has proven to be absolutely powerful. I've been challenged in a plethora of ways. This program has caused me to dive deeper into critical thinking about the areas of research that I believe are the most impactful. My research is proving to be challenging yet life-changing. I have a stronger understanding of the ways that I can investigate trauma as it relates to school leadership." As you know, Dr. Curry gave the commencement speech on behalf of the program last year in 2023. And she also presented at CPAD conference with her dissertation study, and that was very well received. Dr. Trissette Dixon, she's currently the Senior Director of St. Louis Business Diversity Initiative, the Fellows Experience at Greater St. Louis Incorporation. She was recently interviewed by ABC 30, and there's a link to the YouTube video. I hope that you have seen that already on Webster Today. But here is her testimonial. The camaraderie of the cohort and genuine encouragement from each professor and supplemental faculty and staff support has aided me in building the confidence necessary as a doctoral student in the program. It is truly empowering to embrace my transformation over the course of this doctoral program and arrive at the time in which I can proudly call myself an educational researcher. So after getting through all of the testimonials, I would like to quickly walk you through the admission requirements. So in the admission packet, you should have all undergraduate and graduate transcripts with evidence of a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, cumulative GPA of 3.0 for graduate coursework, 3 letters of recommendation, application fee of $125 that is waived for alumni and current Webster University faculty, staff, and students. And then you will be invited to a virtual interview via Zoom. Application deadline is July 1st, 2024 for the fall 2024 admission. I know that today Natasha is here, so she would like to share with you a great news about waiving the application fee if you are attending today's webinar. Natasha, can you tell us how to waive the application fee for the attendees today?
Yes, absolutely. So what you will need to do, a lot of you should already have my email. You will need to contact me to say, hey, I joined the info session. Can I please get an application fee waived? And this also includes if you've already have provided the application fee. This way I can go into our system and get that waived for you and you can get a refund.
Thank you so much, Natasha. So, let's see. So international students, we also welcome you. If you are interested in our program, we do offer the program to international students because the program is online asynchronous. If you're joining the online asynchronous program, you are not going to need to apply for I-20 because you're expected to complete the online program overseas in your home country. We have done this with several international students now in the program that they are completing the degree overseas without having to apply to a student visa. So as you see, we offer culturally relevant pedagogy within the coursework. We're also culturally sensitive towards a lot of the practices, literacy practices, and also some of the sensitivity areas that international students might experience. So we want to offer an experience for international students to give you a sense of belonging in the program. We also support you with mentorship and peer support systems, networking opportunities, and you can take courses within your home countries that you don't have to apply for the student visa. And then there is no GRE requirement. So these are the good news for international students. Okay, so now it's 9:30 and I have invited a doctoral student today to come and talk a little bit about her experience, and she will be here at 9:40. So we have about 10 minutes now. Let me stop sharing screen and the recording, and then so you can ask questions.
Lee-Johnson.
So, Tamara, can you share your experience in the program and what is the program about?
All right. So hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dr. Yupa. So my experience in the program has been, I feel like has been life-changing. And I say that knowing how impactful those words are. So I now know that I have to provide some evidence as to how it has been life-changing. So I joined the program in the middle of the pandemic. We actually were meeting via Zoom, the cohort that I was a part of, and myself and Dr. Lee-Johnson. So you can just imagine, COVID-19, all that is happening. I think it was August of 2020. And we started learning. I vividly remember Dr. Lee-Johnson's interview with me before joining the program, and she asked me about the words epistemology, and I believe you asked me about ontology too, Dr. Lee-Johnson.
Yes.
And I had no idea what those terms meant joining the program. But for me, those two terms have been life-changing in that they have given me a frame by which to understand myself and my world. So for example, I am Muslim, I am Black, born in Jamaica, raised in Brooklyn, matured in South Florida, and now I'm raising a family in the Midwest. So for me, a lot of my experiences in life have been reflective of my experience and my lens as a Black woman. And, there are times that as a Black woman in my house, we would have certain conversations about whiteness and what it meant to live in the world as a person of color and as a person who then interacted with whiteness on a daily basis because of the decisions my parents made around my education, right? So notice I name whiteness. That is a part of the life-changing experience that I've had in this program. I've developed the courage to name whiteness because I know that whiteness as a construct does exist. You see Dr. Yupa shaking her head. You see Dr. Lee-Johnson shaking their head. So through the studies and the conversations that we've had, I've developed the courage to name whiteness and to name it in relationship to my Blackness, right? So what do I mean by that? How the world is framed, ontology, how my world was framed, my worldview, ontology, what counts as knowledge, epistemology, whose knowledge is valuable, epistemology. So it is through the experience of this program that I've developed the courage to name the things that have impacted my experiences in America and my educational experiences so that I can then, I think, have change and impact in the world. So that when I teach Black students that look like me, when I teach immigrant students like me, when I teach Muslim students like me, I'm able to then understand their experience in America in relationship to what Toni Morrison called the white gaze, right? So like I am forever changed because again, these were things that I experienced and thought about. And like Dr. Yupa said, you had questions about, right? And in joining this program, I'm able to not only ask the question, but use my positionality, use my intersectionality, use my positivistic framing or critical framing to then become a researcher. And that to me is life-changing. I have been many things in life. I've worked in a financial aid office. I am currently a teacher in K-12 and an adjunct at the community college level. But now I get to say that I'm a researcher, and researching questions and challenges of this time are so impactful. As we watch the world change around us, as we watch conflicts erupt around us, as we think about, the racial reckoning that happened in 2020 after the death of George Floyd. These are all things that we studied in our program. These are all things that we were able to examine through these lenses or through this framing of epistemology and ontology, and then ultimately coming out at the end transformed, right? Because this is a program in transformational learning in a global community, and knowing that for me, that moment that Masaru talks about was the joining of this program, the ability to then be able to name my experience and emerge from it forever transformed. So